Sheel Bhadra Yajee.
And this is your life story.
For youth,
Tell me, sir, you first met Netaji when?
first I met formally in Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress in 1928. 1928.
What impression did Netaji make upon you in 1928?
Because he stood for complete independence, and Netaji was and Gandhiji was advocating for dominion status. So Pandit Nehru and Netaji, at that time he was not Netaji, he was Desh Gaurav Subhas Chandra Bose. So he was the GOC of the Congress session, General Commanding Officer of Cavalry. So, and PCC President, Bengal was one. So we delegates, all delegates from Bihar, we were camping in Sutapatti, and so he came to meet and we participated in the big procession of Pandit Motilal Nehru from Howrah station to Congress station. So we met, and from that day, though I was in Congress and freedom struggle since 1922 and brought Gandhiji in my village at Bhaktapur and Muhammad Ali, and I was great admirer of Gandhiji. But from that day, Calcutta Congress section, I become ardent follower of Subhas Chandra Bose. Not ardent follower, but co-worker also. In this Jharia coalfield area, Jamadova, Katras, in Jamshedpur, it's a iron factory. Everywhere he was present, I was present. So we closely, from Calcutta Congress 28, we sided with him. We, as a delegate, we voted in favor of Subhas Bose's resolution, complete independence, but Gandhiji won. Subhas Bose was defeated.
What was it about? Tell me what sort of man he was in the late 20s. What did he look like? What sort of character?
He was a great, charming personality. But among the leaders, he was very charming, not good-looking, personality, and he always stood for complete independence and socialism. Though Pandit Nehru was also, but he sometimes wavering. So we Kisan, we workers, those who were working in the peasantry and the working class, we all joined Subhas Babu, and till he met, when he formed INA also, he sent submarine for me, so I went to meet him. When INA was formed, government was formed, so I was a seconder for 2 years. When he was in jail, Hazaribagh jail, he sent words through messenger that anyhow I should come out and take the charge. He was the president of the Forward Bloc. So after his departure, when he disappeared, I became the president. So from 1928 to 43, December, when I met him at Singapore. So we were closely, I was considered by people the closest. Though I was follower, I was never leader, but he used to love me, respect me. So in his place he appointed me as a president. And when he formed INA also, he sent wireless message to me and sent submarine, Japanese submarine, took me to Singapore.
Where were you when the submarine arrived?
Orissa coast, near Chilka Jail.
Tell me the story. You were on the Orissa coast, but where were you when you got the message?
Wireless message. We used to have wireless. He arranged everything for Palampur. Our message used to come because it was very close, secret thing, but now India has become, there is nothing to disclose, but when I was being court-martial, Field Marshal Auchinleck thrice met me, and he wanted to that I should vomit something, but I never disclosed. And the British people thought that Jam Sahab, the chairman of the Princess, he was having Air Service of India. By his plane, I was taken to Singapore. And the managing director of that Air Service of India, P.M. Kawali, who was the first pilot, Nehru landed in 1934, he was arrested. The false charge that he took me to, I went by submarine, but the British intelligence department reported that he, Jam Sahab arranged by, quite false.
So where were you when you received the wireless message? Were you in Calcutta?
No, no. That was, the wireless message was Palanpur, who was the treasurer. He was having this jewel shop in Paris. So during war, he was treasurer of the All India Forward Bloc and big man and very wealthy man. So this all wireless and everything was at Palanpur, native state, not in British India. And from there, a special messenger you to contact. So he contacted me. At that time I was in Odisha as an absconder, and 25,000 reward was my head, dead or alive, to catch me. But I was arrested later on in 44. So, no, you first put question that we were closely together with Netaji, and I remained with Netaji in Forward Bloc. And after his departure, I carried this Forward Bloc till in 55, when the Congress took socialism, adopted socialism. Then Panditji invited me to rejoin the Congress. So we all, Forward Bloc, All India Forward Bloc, merged with the Congress. These a small section of Forward Bloc with CPI, CPM, but the real Forward Bloc merged with the Congress in 1955 after the adoption of socialism by the Indian National Congress Arwadi session.
Tell me though about your submarine journey. It picked you up off the Orissa coast?
They were Japani. No, through a boat I was taken. And single, everything, this signal, code words.
You went in a Japanese submarine. How long did it take from Orissa to Singapore?
It took at 6.5 days.
6.5 days in a submarine.
And coming again by same, I remained there only for 3 hours, 2.5 hours to talk. He wanted to why he took this dangerous, risky journey, because I may die, because our wireless message used to be intercepted, and our so many messengers were caught and shot dead. So he took this job, and Japanese submarine took me, and everything, he 2.5 hours talk, and then the same plane, after taking my meal, brought me here. So he took about 13 days in water.
The same submarine?
Same submarine, same place.
What did Netaji say to you in Singapore? What did Netaji say to you in Singapore?
That when the plan was that after crossing India and this Nagaland, Manipur, Assam capture, when the Indian National Army will reach Calcutta, from rear what to do? Just like guerrilla band, we have to organize Azad Hind Dasta. So that was and because we all as funders, we took, after coming from there, into confidence and talking that when INA will come to India, what we have to do. That was the plan. And for this he called.
Is Netaji still alive?
Uh,
Is Netaji still alive?
no, the cabinet took decision only one person, Colonel Habibur Rahman, who was the deputy chief of the staff of the INA. He took him. But his plan was to go to Soviet zone. He wanted concession only from Japanese that the Indian National Army will go to India, surrender everything, but he will go to Soviet zone and continue the struggle. That was his plan. But unfortunately, the plan crashed at Taipei. From Taipei, he was to go to Mukden, and from Mukden to Soviet zone by Manchuria. But it did not materialize.
You believe he died in the plane crash?
Yes, I do. The man who was with him, he survived. Only Colonel, so many Japanese also. The rear portion was all right, and the upper portion all dead, including Japanese general died.
And Netaji?
Yes, Netaji, in the hospital.
Are you proud of having worked so closely with Netaji?
Yes, we are very proud. Gandhi was never defeated. He even defeated Gandhiji in election.
What is it about?
And I read that article. I compare that Lenin got ready-made Red Army. Even the Napoleon, who was called the greatest general at that time, he was got army. But only he took watch. That also surrendered to in Kabul to CID. He bribed him. First he went to Moscow. He met Molotov and Stalin. At that time, the Russia was having non-aggression pact with UK. So he told that I can't openly help you. So he was sent by Comrade Molotov and Stalin to Mussolini and Hitler. Netaji was not in favor of Hitler, but he went to Soviet Russia from Kabul. And according to the pact, which was made by Lala Shankar Lal in Japan by Soviet ambassador, a Soviet ambassador did not consult.
What was your personal role? What was your personal role in the Indian National Army? What did you do for the INA?
No, I was a civilian man, just like Subhas Babu. I was the president of the Forward Bloc, All India Forward Bloc. Not I was an IA. But British people court-martialed me as if I was an INA man.
You were court-martialed when?
In Red Fort, Delhi, in 1944.
What happened?
I was released because even in the British court-martial army, though the brigadier, this colonel, they were independent people because they committed some blunder. Those people who brought this document in my name, all were shot dead. All were shot dead. If they would have kept alive one or two persons, then I would have been court-martialed and firing squad, because we were tried as enemy agent. At that time, Netaji was also called enemy agent. All INA was called enemy agent, because we took active support from Japan. So we were described as enemy agent.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
How
old are you now? How many years? How old are you?
What
age?
Age is now 88.
88.
Netaji was 8 years older than me.
Looking up, you
Yes.
have lots of photographs all around of freedom fighters, and
Yes.
one very large one, which is garlanded.
Netaji?
Netaji.
Yes.
Now, when would that have been taken? Was that
Eh?
how Netaji looked when you first met him?
What?
Was that how Netaji looked when you first met him in 1928?
That time he was Subhas Chandra Bose, not military man.
But when-
He is the only civilian. Ashish. He is the product of London.
What is it about him? What was it that made you want to be a follower of him? Why
He
was he your leader?
he was an intellectual giant. Everything. He wrote, have you read his book? Have you read his book, Indian Struggle?
I haven't, no.
No, that you will read it in my book. In this book you will read everything. His justification of Forward Bloc and what he spoke, what India wants in Tokyo Imperial University speech I have given.
But apart from his views and his politics, what about him as a person? Was he somebody you felt very close to?
I told you once that in Congress Gandhi was never defeated. Once Gandhi was defeated when this Haripura Congress on the mercy of Gandhi came. Later on, Gandhi thought that he is not with me. In a way, Jawaharlal surrendered to him. Jawaharlal was also firm socialist, but later on he surrendered to Gandhiji. And Gandhi was never socialist. He was Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya means to the capitalists and all will be the trustee of the people. So there was a lot of differences with Gandhiji and Subhas Babu. And that's why Gandhi opposed him and he was defeated and he won.
Do you think India would be better today if Netaji had led the country, not Gandhiji?
On that very day, India would not have been divided. If Netaji would have been alive at that time, just like Lincoln, he would have invited civil war in India. Lincoln told that, I shall invite civil war, America will not be divided. But these people were hankering after power to take something after this, when the British Parliament Act came into being. So our leaders were after compromise. So this Navy revolt was going on. That was anyhow stopped. This on behalf of the Congress High Command, so many people went to Bombay. I was inciting them. So I was arrested. And on 15th of August I was released when India became free. I was arrested, but Arunaji, Lohiya, all went there on behalf of Congress leaders.
So you're saying if Netaji had lived, there would be no Pakistan?
No Pakistan. And India would have been declared a socialist republic on that very day.
Do you think it's India's great tragedy that Netaji died?
Testimony was India has been Tamil Leng came, Genghis Khan came, so many Huns came, India was never divided. But it is misfortune and we are reaping the harvest. Jammu, Kashmir, everywhere, something is going on, Bengal was divided.
Let me ask you, could you say a little bit for me in the Bengali language about how you first met Netaji in 1928 in Calcutta?
No. Calcutta Congress 1928 যে হলো মতিলাল নেহরু প্রেসিডেন্ট ছিলেন তো কংগ্রেস সেশনে আমি ডেলিগেট তো ডেলিগেট হলে যে কমপ্লিট ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স অ্যান্ড ডোমিনেন্সের যে রেজলিউশন হলো তো আমি বিহার থেকে সুভাষবাবু और जवाहरलाल नेहरू संगे ভোট করলাম অ্যান্ড আমরা তো হেরে গেছি গান্ধী যে কমপ্লিট ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স রেজলিউশন হলো ও তো ফেলে গেছে লেকিন গান্ধীজি যে ডোমিনেন্স রেজলিউশন করলেন তো তার ভিক্টরি হলো.
And could you say a little bit in Bengali also about your submarine journey? Tell the story of your submarine journey in Bengali.
Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, because I was 1944 যখন আমি ফরওয়ার্ড ব্লকের প্রেসিডেন্ট ছিলাম নেতাজির কাছে নেতাজির যে ওয়্যারলেস বেল্ট পাঠালেন কি আমাকে ওখানে যেতে হবে, তো আমি ওখানে গেলাম জাপানি সাবমেরিন থেকে।
And you were taken from Orissa to Singapore.
Yes.
Can you explain in Bengali how long that journey took?
উড়িষ্যা থেকে সাবমেরিন থেকে উড়িষ্যা যে চিল্কা ঝিল আছে ওখান থেকে সিঙ্গাপুর মানে 7 রোজ লাগলো। আর আমি ওখানে গেলাম আর নেতাজির সঙ্গে কথাবার্তা করে আমি ফিরে আসলাম।
And can you explain in Bengali what Netaji told you in Singapore?
নেতাজি ভাবলেন কি যে আজাদ হিন্দ ফৌজ যে কুচ করবে, আজাদ মানে সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে দিমাপুর ইম্ফল 2700 মাইল হলো। তো ওখান থেকে যদি আজাদ হিন্দ ফৌজ জিতবে ফের কলকাতা আসলে আমার যে এখানে যে ফ্রিডম ফাইটার যে অ্যাসকন্ডার ছিলেন, তো ওর কর্তব্য হলো কি জাস্ট লাইক গেরিলা ব্যান্ড ও রেগুলার আর্মিকে আজাদ হিন্দকে সাহায্য প্রদান করবে, এই জন্য আমি গিয়েছিলাম।